All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go for heat number one. Stephen Choate, Kyle McRacken Martin on the front row, Dave Holmberg, Scott Snodgrass on the second row, Edmund Jones, David Lutz have the third row, Brendan Tracy rounds out the field for heat number one. Hey, good evening, Kenny. Looking forward to it. We'll see you Wednesday night, buddy. Pace car rolls. Drivers begin rolling. And looks like Stephen Choate will be taking an EOL to start the race. Kenny, I'm thinking it's just about that time for me as well, buddy. David Lutz trying to get Scott Snodgrass moving, give him a little bump. Down the back straightaway, the pace car will pull in out of turn 4. And things are about to heat up at Bristol. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Bristol. Scott quickly shoots to the bottom and takes the lead through. Oh, we've got a wreck. Stephen Choate gets in trouble. Edmund Jones also losing some ground. Edmund managed to save it. Has McRacken on the bumper. Hey, good evening, Concrete Cowgirl cheering on. Oh, a wreck between the leaders, David Lutz and Scott Snodgrass. And McRacken goes by Lutz to take the lead. Jones now to second. Brendan Tracy into third. Dave Holmberg in fourth. David Lutz in fifth. Lutz has holy cow. Lutz has serious handling issues. His right front is pointed toward the wall. David Lutz, Scott Snodgrass, Stephen Choate on pit road in heat one. Not the way any of them wanted the night to start. They'll have to make up some ground in the feature. Brendan Tracy moves up into third. Edmund Jones, despite being sideways through 3 and 4 at the start on the white flag lap, is in second, but McRacken comes through the chaos. And out of turn 4, McRacken wins race 1. Edmund Jones comes home second. Brendan Tracy in third. On to heat number 2. Ed Sr. and Michael Cray are on the front row for heat 2. Vern Spring, John Barry have the second row. Andrew Thornton and Richie Jomplin on the third row. Kenny, it certainly looked like that for a minute. All the drivers getting stacked up, ready to go. Michael Cray hiding inside the pace car. They'll go around one more time. A few of the drivers are warming up tires just a little bit. Andrew Thornton, Richie Joplin at the back, trying to get some heat. As we mentioned, these cars, Michael Cray also warming them up. These cars are a little loose on cold tires, and we have seen sparks flying on cold tires until the pressures come up. Here we go, pace car is in. Ed Senior fires, they are away, green in the air. And Cray, a huge run through 1 and 2, takes the lead. John Barry, his first time in the Tour Mod this season, already up to second. But look who's behind, Drifty Richie Joplin up to third. Andrew Thornton right with him in fourth. Vern Spring in fifth. Looked like Ed had some problems on the start, back to sixth. John Barry has the fastest lap so far. But Drifty Richie just took the fastest lap as he closes the gap on Barry. Michael Cray still has the lead, but Barry all over the bumper. A lot of the drivers mention at the speeds and the way this race is going to go, passing may be difficult. They're going to have to build a big run and find an opening to get it done. Barry can't do it yet. Richie Joplin starting to look to the high side. Michael Cray will lead him through 3 and 4. White flag one more time around. Oh, a wreck in second. Richie Joplin in the wall with John Barry, and Michael Cray will pull off the win in Heat 2. Andrew Thornton comes home in second. Vern Spring pulls off third. Ed Senior comes home in fourth. John Barry, Richie Joplin, a rough ending to their heat. And as the fireworks begin to pop off, it is time for the feature here at Bristol. Kyle McRacken Martin and Michael Cray on the front row. Edmund Jones and Andrew Thornton on the second row. Brendan Tracy, Vern Spring have the third row. Dave Holmberg, Richie Joplin on the fourth. David Lux and Ed Senior round out the top 10. Stephen Choate starts in 11th next to John Barry in 12th. And Scott Snodgrass will start back in 13th. I think based on what we saw in the heats, making any kind of prediction for this race would just be wrong. But don't forget to cheer for your favorite drivers here tonight as they get ready to fire off. They're turning laps here at 13 and a half seconds a lap. Barely time to blink. As we mentioned, the car's loose on cold tires, and the pressures have to come up a little bit. They will be grinding and bottoming out. Until they do, could see some early chaos. Who's gonna come home in victory lane tonight? Let's find out. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Bristol, baby. McRacken shoots to the lead. Edmund clears into second. Brendan Tracy already looking for third underneath Craig. Andrew Thornton lurking right behind. Ed Sr. losing some ground. Whoa, a close call. Vern Spring stayed on the back bumper of Drifty Richie. In that lead pack, Stephen Choate now up 3 spots into 8th. Holmberg on his bumper. They are a second and a half behind the lead pack, but they are starting to close the gap. Edmund Jones is going to the lead. Brendan Tracy battles with McRacken. He'll take second. McRacken's going to hold on to third place. Craig on the bumper. Andrew Thornton, Richie Joplin, Vern Spring, all right there. Brendan Tracy looks underneath Edmund for the lead. Whoa, close coming off turn 2. Tracy tried to drift up and carry more momentum. He'll get him this time at the line. Brendan Tracy has the lead. Edmund looking back down to the bottom to take it back. Meanwhile, McRacken in third. Michael Cray right behind in fourth. Edmund looks under but can't get there. Stephen Choate continues to close in on Vern Spring. Kenny Storkson cheering on the driver, Drifty Richie Joplin. Brendan Tracy still holds the lead. Edmund unable to find a way by. Andrew had a bit of a run coming out of the turn, it looked like, but just didn't have enough momentum to get under Michael Cray. Remember, we talked about it. Once these cars are up to speed, with the lap times and the speeds they're running around here, it is extremely tricky to make a pass. And a bump and run is not advisable in these cars. You might end up going with the person you bumped. McRacken looks underneath Edmund for second place. Out of 4, Edmund smacked the wall. McRacken now back into second. Edmund in third. Michael Cray in fourth. Stephen Choate has just about caught up to the lead pack. Dave Holmberg has lost touch with him for the moment. Scott Snodgrass started dead last. already up into 10th. John Barry, also his first Tour Mod race of the season. He hasn't been in one of these cars in over 6 months, but comes out here, runs 11th, having a great run so far. Brendan Tracy tried to build a little bit of a gap, just over half a second on McRacken at the moment. This second group, led by Michael Cray, seems to have lost touch with the top 3, at least for the moment. Vern Spring now has a bumper full. Stephen Choate looking underneath into 1. Big run by Choate. Oh! He came up too soon. Choate and Vern get together in 1 and 2. No caution yet. Now it's out. Our first caution of the night, lap 23. Stephen Choate had the run, coming out of the turn, just pushed up to the outside a little too soon, gets into Vern, and it looked like that was Richie Joplin that also got him. I stand corrected, that was Dave Holmberg that got involved. Holmberg just has nowhere to go between Vern and Choate. There is just barely a gap. Looking down from the How to Suck at iRacing blimp, there you see it, just a barely contact, and it all pops off after that. Stephen Choate, Dave Holmberg, both on pit road. Vern Spring did come in, got repairs quickly, back out. Can Choate and Holmberg get off pit road in time to maintain the lead lap? Choate is on his way out. Holmberg has just a few seconds left to get out. And it looks like Holmberg will end up losing a lap. So Brendan Tracy still has the lead, followed by Kyle McRacken Martin, Edmund Jones, Michael Cray, 3rd and 4th, Andrew Thornton in 5th, Richie Joplin in 6th, Scott Snodgrass, the biggest mover so far, up 6 spots into 7th. John Barry currently in 8th, David Lux in 9th, and Ed Sr. in 10th. Stephen Choate did make it out in 11th and did maintain the lead lap. Vern Spring currently 1 lap down. Holmberg still on pit road. Lights are out. The drivers stack back up. And folks, let's have a little fun. It is Bristol. It's time to get loud. When the green flag drops, I'm going to stop talking. You guys crank up the volume and listen to all that horsepower. Here we go. Pace car is in. Green flag. Can't have much more fun than hearing all that horsepower flying by at Bristol. Hey, good evening, Becky. Concrete Cowgirl cheering on Stephen Choate, who's already on the march as he battles with John Barry for 7th place. They got a little bit. Oh no! Barry gets together. He drives over. Barry's upside down. Caution is back out. This time Choate survives. Holy cow. Choate did survive, but he did have John Barry kind of riding on top of the car for a moment. Let's take a look. Take a look from a little bit further back from our blimp cam. Oh, look like Barry got loose. May have just barely bounced off the wall. Vern Spring ends up coming under him. Choate keeps going, but John Barry ends up upside down and has to tow. Stephen Choate has come down pit road. Looks like a quick repair stop. He is back out, maintained the lead lap in 10th. And an early, an early happy anniversary to Scott Snodgrass and his wife Becky, who will have their 1-year anniversary next week. And Becky, you're welcome. Stephen Choate has ducked back down pit road. No, it looks like Choate has had a connection issue. Hopefully it'll resolve itself quickly before he loses any ground. That would be heartbreaking. Choate had already made 2 comebacks here tonight from starting at the back of the field, fighting his way to the front, getting caught up in the first caution, dropped all the way to the tail, had already fought his way back up to 7th. And it looks like Choate may have dropped. We'll have to wait and see if he can get back in time. Stephen Choate was becoming the comeback kid. Hopefully that will continue if he can get reconnected. Kyle Martin, Brendan Tracy on the front row. Edmund Jones, Michael Cray on the second. Richie Joplin, Scott Snodgrass, David Lux, Andrew Thornton, Ed Sr. round out the 9 lead lap cars at the moment. And looks like they are extending the caution. You know, Kenny, I kind of miss running late model stocks. I haven't driven one in a while. I might have to hop in one soon. Kyle Martin took the points lead after lap. Whoa! McRacken having some connection problems as well. Now it looks like Brendan Tracy may be having connection problems. Green flag back in the air. McRacken gets a great restart. Edmund Jones quickly gets under and clears Brendan for second. Drifty Richie up to fourth now. Tracy, power move to the bottom. Almost takes second place from Edmund. He is still there. But Edmund finally clears out of 4. Drifty Richie looks underneath. Scott Snodgrass now up 7 spots. Into 6, gets a bump from Thornton. That got a little exciting. Brendan Tracy's connection problem is getting worse as he tries to take second back. That could be a huge problem. Richie right there with him. David Lux starting to make some moves. He is back in 8th. Ed Sr. in 9th. Dave Holmberg has come back out on track. Several laps down. Steven, hopefully you get back in here in a moment and fix your internet, I hope. You were having quite a comeback, Steven. Edmund Jones holds on to second for the moment. He kissed the wall. Richie's got to run. Michael Cray coming to pit road unexpectedly. McRacken out front by 1 second as a 3-car battle is on for second place. I got you, Steven. I completely understand, buddy. Andrew Thornton trying to close the gap. Scott Snodgrass, though, looks underneath. Lux is right there. That is the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Kyle Martin is loving what he's seeing. 2 distinct battles going on back behind. Edmund, Richie, and Brendan battling for 2nd. Andrew, Scott, and David battle for 5th. Ed Sr. up to 8th, trying to close the gap on Lux. Lux was one of the fastest drivers in practice. Might still have a little bit of a surprise under the hood and make up some ground. Vern Spring lurking back in 9th, a lap down, hoping for a caution. McRacken's lead now 2 seconds as Richie's underneath Edmund for second. Tracy up on the ice. Wow, they are getting really close. They have to be careful not to get into those marbles up there right by the wall. Now Tracy has a run. Oh, Edmund's in the wall. Richie Joplin to second. Edmund Jones now in third. Brendan Tracy in fourth. Andrew Thornton still gaining ground back behind. He is bringing Scott Snodgrass and David Lux with him. 2.5 second lead for McRecken. But now Richie in second. Does he have enough to gain ground and get to the leader? Andrew Thornton back in fifth. He has raced with Edmund for a long time. Expect to see one heck of a battle with these two drivers. Scott Snodgrass in sixth. David Lux in seventh. Ed Sr. in eighth. Scott, biggest mover of the night so far, started dead last in 13th up to 6th place. McRecken's lead growing for the moment. Richie not gaining any ground. Brendan Tracy is now right there with Richie. Edmund Jones lost a little bit of ground on him. Andrew Thornton, Scott Snodgrass lost a little bit of ground on Edmund as well. Brendan Tracy is hanging it all out. Keep seeing that right rear of Tracy's car. Just giving the outside wall a little kiss out of the turns. Looks like he might have had a scare a moment ago. He's keeping it a little bit lower. Really low as he looks low under Richie. Looks like Edmund may have kissed the wall again. Ed Sr. has had a problem back behind. Holmberg also having a problem. Caution is out. Caution is out, lap 72. Let's see what caused it. Ed Sr., Dave Holmberg. Whoa! They just started beating the crap out of each other through 3 and 4. Let's back this up just a hair. Looks like Senior may have gotten a little bit loose, but Holmberg ends up doing a hood slide from the start-finish line down to turn 1. And almost everybody is on pit road. Kyle Martin, Brendan Tracy, Richie Joplin, Scott Snodgrass, David Lux all come to pit road. Edmund Jones also came in. Vern Spring was waved back to the lead lap. A lot of these drivers just took right side tires to see if they could do something with it. Now the question is, how long can Andrew Thornton hold them off on old tires? And Thornton, it looks like he is going to come in. And he does. Andrew Thornton is now in. That will give the lead back to McRacken. Brendan Tracy still holds on in second. Scott Snodgrass now up 10 spots into third. David Lux currently in fourth. Richie Joplin in fifth. Edmund Jones in sixth. Andrew Thornton comes off pit road in seventh. Vern Spring does hit pit road. He's on his way back out. He is in eighth, but he is back on the lead lap. Ed Sr. and Dave Holmberg both had to tow it in. They are going to be a while. Lights are out on the pace car as we get ready for the restart. Dave Holmberg is on his way back out. Here we go. Pace car is in. McRacken in control. He fires. They are away. Green flag in the air. 23 laps to go. David Lux lost some ground on the restart. Drops in line. And now looking underneath Scott into turn one. Kyle Martin out front, but does not have that big gap. Brendan Tracy all over the bumper. Scott and Dave, whoa! Andrew Thornton almost getting into the bumper of David Lux as Lux tries to get underneath Scott Snodgrass. Richie Joplin now back in sixth after the pit stop. Edmund Jones in seventh. Vern Spring in eighth. Brendan Tracy lurking all over the back bumper of McRacken, just waiting for the right moment. Scott Snodgrass now in trouble. Lux, look, whoa, Lux gets loose out of two, keeps it going, but Thornton now has an opening. And Richie looks to the high side on Thornton, makes the move. Richie now to sixth. Does Richie have enough time left to get back to where he was? Lux looks underneath Scott once again. That battling is what opened the door for Richie Joplin. Lux has the run. Oh! David Lux goes to the apron. Everybody avoids. No caution. But Richie Joplin now goes to fourth. Looks underneath Scott Snodgrass. Brendan Tracy still lurks on the back bumper of McRacken. Kenny, I think it looks like Richie can put that car wherever he dang well pleases. Oh, contact! Andrew Thornton and Scott get together. Richie gets by. Caution. 10 laps to go. And wow, what an exciting turn of events. Let's start by seeing what happened with David Lux as he was battling with, oh, Scott came down just a little bit, gets into Lux, Edmund barely able to avoid it. Then the incident that brought out the caution. Andrew just gets a better run out of two. Gets into Scott. They both go around. Richie looked like he got some contact. Yeah, he got some contact, but gets through. Kyle Martin still has the lead. Brendan Tracy in second. Edmund Jones now to third. David Lux in fourth. Vern Spring in fifth. Scott drops back to sixth. Thornton back to seventh. Richie Joplin is on pit road in eighth. Vern Spring was a lap down earlier in the race and way behind. Now back on the lead lap and in the top five. This will be a dogfight on the restart. They will have about 5 to go when the green flag drops. It is still anybody's race. Richie Joplin is back out on track, but now a lap down. Seven drivers still on the lead lap. And remember, we still have the possibility of a green-white checker. Any of the drivers on the lead lap right now still have a shot at this. They definitely want to finish it under green though, because if the caution comes out, it'll put Richie back on the lead lap. Lights are out. Pace car ready to drop in. McRacken choosing the high line for the restart. Pace car is in. McRacken in control. He fires. Green is in the air. David Lux into second, right on the bumper of McRacken. Brendan Tracy right there. 5 to go, 4 to go. Scott has already jumped his way back up to 5th, closing the gap on Edmund. Edmund looks underneath Brendan. 3 to go. Kyle still has the lead. 2 laps to go at Bristol. It is still anybody's race. Could see anything happen. David Lux right there on the bumper as a white flag comes out one more time around. McRacken is blinking. Lux got the wall. And it will not be enough. Kyle McRacken Martin gets the win. David Lux coming home in second. Brendan Tracy, a great run to finish third. Edmund Jones comes home fourth. Scott Snodgrass in fifth. And Richie Joplin, a heartbreak late race incident, puts him a lap down in eighth. Let's talk to our top three, starting with Brendan Tracy. Brendan, that was one heck of a run, and man, it looked like early on you had this one.
Yeah, I thought we might have, but burned my stuff up on the first run and then struggled with restarts all race long.
It did look like they were beating you on the restarts, but once the tires were up to pressure and had some heat in them, man, it was tough. We kept seeing you looking like you were making a run. It was just really tough to pass.
Yeah, it was all a momentum deal. It was really based on if the guy in front of you made a mistake. I mean, we were all the same speed. It would have been really hard to pass.
Well, you still managed to come home with a podium and a very impressive run tonight, buddy. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
Brendan Tracy comes home in third. David Lux comes home in second. David, how close on that last two laps were you to giving Kyle a love tap?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I was really close. I was right there. I wanted to. They were all telling me to, but I think I ran out of these two front tires I had up here.
Well, man, you put on one heck of a show. You obviously had problems early, managed to come back. I mean, at one point, as I recall, you were upside down, and you still come back to get a podium finish.
Doug, I was upside down? What were you watching?
I may be thinking of somebody else, but...
Doug, I dropped to the rear early in the race, played my strategy out, and then I was battling with Scott and Andrew.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, see, yeah, there you go.
There, 100 laps at 13 seconds a lap. You try keeping up with everything.
I tried. At one point, I thought I was going headfirst into the wall.
It was still, you were the fastest in most of the practice. You come home in second, and you put on one heck of a performance tonight, buddy. Congratulations. Great to see you back on the podium.
Thank you. I'll let Kyle know. I'm getting his ass next time.
I'll make sure he knows. And finally, our winner, Kyle McRacken Martin. McRacken was the last lap mirror driving.
Only a little bit.
Well, Lux did say next time he's getting you.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be the first time. No, my plan from the get-go was to stick to the bottom. I had the hand out the window on the first 10 laps there. You know, if they wanted the top, they can go right on by me, burn up the tires. I was sitting there riding the bottom, saving tires. That was the whole plan, the whole race. It kind of worked out. You know, track position, kept that, saved some tires, ran down Brendan for a little bit, and then passed him on one of the restarts there. So honestly, can't complain too hard. That was quite a good race between me and Brendan and David there at the end.
It definitely was. You started up front, you finished up front, a huge points night. You became the points leader after last week, so really big points night to get the win.
Oh yeah, this is it was real fun. Yeah, Riley's out there on a date right now, so he's in a different kind of victory lane, but he's having fun in his own world. So I guess he can't complain too hard that I took the points lead away from him.
I reckon not, buddy. Congratulations, a great win.
Thank you.
Thank you, John Barry, for correcting me. It was John Barry that was upside down. I don't know why I thought it was Lux. those two are usually quite often racing together, charging up through the field. I get, yeah. Anyway, my bad. Thank you for correcting me. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We don't have a broadcast tomorrow, but we will be entertaining you, so don't worry. And Wednesday night, C12 Motorsports, formerly the Nowski Nation's new season, second race. They do a double header with street stocks on a Roval, then the Oval. Man, it was a lot of fun last week. If you've missed any of the races, go check them out on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Have a great night, everybody.